You ever have one of those amazing ideas, but when you try to explain it, it just kind of falls flat? Or maybe you're trying to make a really important point, but you can't quite get it to land? Well, today we're diving into exactly that. We're going to look at how you can take those simple thoughts and build them into powerful, solid arguments. So, what's the secret? How do you take a big idea and make it not just clear, but actually persuasive? Well, it all comes down to having the right mental tools. Think of them like blueprints for building a strong idea.
And here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to walk through 4 of these blueprints, using a few short essays to show us the way. We'll start with the basics of analysis, then move on to the art of persuasion, and finish up by getting creative with invention.
Okay, first things first. Our first tool is the foundation for pretty much any strong idea. It's the ability to look at a topic from all sides. It's all about balanced analysis, really understanding something before you jump to conclusions. To see how this works, let's start with something pretty straightforward. One of the essays we're looking at explores all the good things about living in a city. It's a perfect example of how you can start an analysis by just focusing on one side, in this case, all the positives. What's really important here is the structure. See how the argument is built on clear, solid benefits? You've got strong infrastructure, more jobs, tons of culture, and just pure convenience. It's a really solid case for city life. But, as any good thinker knows, that's only half the story. So let's take it up a notch. To really truly understand something, you have to look at both sides of the coin. A more complex topic, like, say, the impact of television, is the perfect way to see this balanced approach in action. And here you can see that pro and con method right there. On the one hand, TV gives us educational channels and entertainment. But on the other hand, it can mean less homework gets done and maybe less family time. When you lay it all out like this, side by side, you get a much deeper, more honest picture. This balanced view, that's our first essential blueprint. All right, so you've looked at the pros and cons. You've got the lay of the land. But what if your goal isn't just to understand something, but to convince someone that one side is actually better? Well, that brings us to our second blueprint, making a persuasive case. Now, this is the million-dollar question for anyone trying to argue a point, right? It's not enough to just list off a bunch of facts. You have to arrange them in a way that leads your audience right to the conclusion you want them to reach. Let's see how our next essay does this, comparing reading books to watching TV. Now, notice the structure here. This isn't just another pro-con list. No, this is a direct head-to-head comparison, and it's designed to prove a point. Reading strengthens your imagination. TV does the imagining for you. Reading keeps your mind active. TV can kind of make it lazy. This logical framework is the absolute backbone of a persuasive argument. But logic alone can only get you so far. After building that really strong logical case, the argument hits us with this quote. So why is this so powerful? Well, it's because logic convinces our brains, but it's emotion that really moves us, that makes us believe something. When you combine a rational argument with an emotional hook like this one, that's when a good point becomes totally unforgettable. Okay, so we've analyzed and we've argued. Now we get to what might be the most creative blueprint of them all, using our thinking to actually solve real problems and imagine a better future. This is all about shifting from critique to creation. This is where thinking gets really, really powerful. Our last essay isn't about comparing two things that already exist. No, it's about spotting a huge global problem and then proposing a brand new solution. It's totally forward-looking and honestly full of hope. The idea itself is just brilliantly simple, but so profound. It's a machine that literally creates clean drinking water out of thin air, using nothing but the sun. See how clear that definition is? A powerful invention always starts with a crystal clear concept. So why is an invention like this so critical? Well, the scale of the problem is just staggering. We're talking millions of people. When you understand just how huge the issue is, the need for a solution becomes impossible to ignore. And here is the real magic. A truly great solution doesn't just fix one problem, it creates this positive chain reaction, this ripple effect. It's all about systems thinking. Clean water means more time for kids to go to school. Better health means stronger communities. It shows how one single elegant solution can completely transform an entire system for the better. So, we've walked through 3 really powerful ways of thinking: analyzing, persuading, and inventing. Let's wrap it all up and put it together into a toolkit you can start using right now. And here it is, your 3-step blueprint for building strong ideas. First, you analyze to get a full, honest picture. Then, you argue to make a clear, persuasive case. And finally, you can use all that understanding to invent and create real solutions. See how each step builds on the one before it? And remember, this is about so much more than just writing an essay. These are mental models for clarity, persuasion, and innovation. Whether you're in a board meeting, a classroom, or just trying to solve a problem in your neighborhood, these tools will give your ideas structure and they'll give them power. So, the most important thing is what you do with this now. These blueprints, they're yours. You have the tools to analyze, to persuade, and to invent. The only question left is, what idea are you going to build next?